able to watch. It looked like a lot of intensity out there, maybe trying to push a little hard today.
Yeah, yesterday we kind of took it another step. We got back in pads yesterday. Wednesday we looked like we hadn't practiced in a week and a half or played. But I thought yesterday they showed up and had the right mindset. And then today, kind of another step, a lot more intensity. Today we had some live work and just kind of, you just can't. So it's 2 weeks tomorrow since we've played, so you can't. There's only a certain amount of time you can go in this game without putting your pads on somebody, and there's a certain mindset that you have to have, and you can't just show up and get that. It has to be prepared for and created in practice. So this is just kind of where we are in our phase of preparation. Today and tomorrow is two showing up, get after it days, and so I thought they had right focus today. They knew exactly the type of practice that we were going to have, and the type of work we needed to get, and so it was good energy, good intensity, really all the way through. And then we've been getting our conditioning, kind of making sure we're back where we need to be there. Tomorrow will be another very physical day. We'll do a couple different drills, and then we'll do some 2-minute live at the end. Just get full speed decision making there on both sides, and but we're getting a lot of team pass, some good on good inside and one-on-ones and all that stuff, but also good Notre Dame prep, and then we've got today's our first full day of JV. We kind of take the first couple days and kind of teach and get them ready a little bit, because a lot of those guys, like I said, have been scout team all year. And we got a lot of guys that are good players that are going to have bigger roles next year. That we've got it's a great opportunity to get them some really good one-on-one work with everybody else out of the way. So we've got that process going, and today we'll get into kind of a full little JV schedule with them, and then same thing tomorrow. And like I said, that'll go all the way through Wednesday. Sunday we'll meet. Kind of be more of a mental day, slow things down, teach, work on a little bit more of our installation, and then Monday morning we'll be back on the field, have meetings early, and then kind of have a jog through type practice, and then another Tuesday type practice on Tuesday, kind of like we're having today and tomorrow. So I think we got a good plan, a good mixture, and then we'll have another full week once we get down to the bowl site.
Defensively, what kind of different looks do they like to present?
Well, they do a good job with their pressures up front. I mean, they're a 4-man front, but they stand to end up most of the time, which is a little different. Because you could easily think, well, they're an odd front, but they're mostly a 4-man front. And then they do a good job I think they do a good job post snap. And I think that's where we've got to really do a good job with our preparation. They give you one thing pre-snap, but post-snap is when all the magic happens. So they do a nice job with some of their disguises. They play a lot of one safety, but they have different techniques with how they do that. Sometimes they line up in it and they play it. Sometimes they end up in it. A lot of 2-man, a lot of 1-man, a lot of quarters coverage. They'll get into some quarter half stuff. They do a nice job of mixing it up, and they mix their techniques up with it, as far as whether they play up and press you, or they're off, and come down. So we've got to be really schooled up on these guys post snap. This is a big game where there's some post snap decisions that have to be made by everybody, not just the quarterback. But then we got to be locked in up front. I mean, they do a nice job. This is the best D-line we've played across the board, and they do a nice job of scheming up your protections and things like that. So we got a good plan coming together. I feel good about it.
Coach, Chris Fink has had touchdowns in 2 of their biggest games against USC and Michigan.
Who's that?
Chris Fink, the wide receiver.
What number is he? Slot?
Yeah,
okay.
Senior.
10, 81, 83. I got all the numbers. I can't remember everybody's name.
It's 10. He's a senior slot receiver, former walk-on. Is he basically there, Hunter Renfro?
Yeah. I mean, he's a really good player. He's quick as a cat. He got good hands. I mean, they play other guys, but it's pretty much 10, 81, and 83. That's kind of their offense goes through those three guys, and their tight end. The tight end's a really good player for them, and then obviously those three backs. They're a run-first offense. They're built to run the ball, and then everything comes off of that. Try to stay on schedule and take a lot of shots with 81 out, 83 outside. But Ten's a heck of a player. He's a returner, and he's definitely kind of their move the chains guy. But he can get down the middle of the field on you in a heartbeat too.
Their offensive line struggled some early in the year. What have you seen out of their development sort of as the season?
They've gotten better and better. I think they might have been the runner-up to the best OL in the country. I think whatever that award is, I think they were one of the best, and this is as good a group as we've seen. Very talented. They play well together. This is a team that the most impressive thing about Notre Dame to me is they don't beat themselves. I mean, you can watch from game one all the way through, and you can count on 3 fingers how many times they got guys running wide open, for example. I mean, they're they're where they're supposed to be. So you have to make the plays. You have to play well. You have to execute, and they're going to make you execute and make plays. They're not going to give you a whole lot, and it's the same thing on the offensive side. They're just, especially when they went to Book. He's a baller, man, and and Wimbush is a heck of a player, but Book just kind of took him to another level, and I mean he's a slippery guy, makes a lot of plays, but they take care of the ball, do a nice job of that. Defensively, they don't give up. They're like 9th in the country in scoring. They're stingy on defense, and then offensively, they take care of the ball. They play within their scheme, and they create field position. So they've won a lot of close games. They do a nice job, man. They don't beat themselves, and so you have to beat them. And to this point, nobody's been able to do that.
Yeah, but there's been lots of talk about expanding the playoff this week. What are your thoughts on the current system and the possibility of that?
I'm the wrong guy to ask that. I'd be more going back to 2, to be honest with you. I'm not more is better guy. I know there's a huge crowd out there for that, but I think that college football is unique, and now all of a sudden it just becomes like everything else when you do that, in my opinion. You got 130 teams, so I think I've always felt like and we got 68 bowls or something like that. I think it's awesome that you got 30, whatever that is, 34, is my math right? 34 teams that get to end their season on a positive note and build some excitement going into the off season and all. I love that about college football. I love all the funky matchups. I love the funky Cole Medina, Poulan, Weed Eater Bowl, and wherever. I love all that. I like the crazy games. There's obviously a market for it because the TVs love to put it on there. And I love the trips. I've experienced it as a player and a coach. I'm more traditionalist when it comes to that. And I get that. I mean, we've benefited from being able to get in the Final Four, but it's hard. It's hard. And I hate the fact that all of a sudden now it's not cool to go to the Gator Bowl. Are you kidding me? And I don't like that mindset. I think the more you expand, the more that becomes. And again, I know that falls on a lot of deaf ears and all that, but I'm just telling you, it doesn't mean I'm right. That's just my opinion. I'm not telling anybody else they're wrong. It's just they can have their opinion whatever they want to have. But I love the passion of college football, and I think the more you expand, the less the season matters. It just don't matter. And now all of a sudden, we're in the playoffs, and it doesn't matter if you're 9-3 or 8-4. You're in the playoffs, and so who cares? You start games don't matter anymore. Some of the games you play them. You just sit everybody. And I think that would creep in more and more and more. So I don't get a vote. That's my opinion. And whatever, if we expand, I'll embrace that, and we'll rock and roll. I love my job. I love what I do. I'll embrace whatever people who make those decisions say, because I don't make those decisions. I just abide by the rules and go do it. And I've always believed in that.
Coach, this is the second straight year your opponent in the semifinal didn't play in the conference championship game. Alabama had some injuries last year. I know you get the same number of practices, but is the whole extra time thing kind of overblown?
Well, you know, they didn't know who they were playing, so that championship week. So, you know, I mean, it's not like and they were off. It's not like their guys were in there practicing for Clemson the week that we were doing. Now, the problem, you know, the difference is that it's a long time for them to go without playing a game. For us, you know, they got back last week, but we were coming off of a week of work. So, you know, I think, yeah, it's probably overblown. It's more just both teams are going to get ready. Both teams are who they are, and you just got to play well in that day. It's a few plays, and they'll have a great preparation. We're going to have great preparation, and you know, who can get the job done for those 4 quarters. That's what it comes down to. Now the rest of it really matters. I mean, it's always a storyline, but it's really not about that. These guys have played a lot of football. We've played 13 games, so they've played 12. You know, both teams will be ready.
Michael,
your discussion, the dilution of the bowls, and you know, we might sell some players. This hasn't happened to you yet, but
so again, what was it?
When you're discussing the dilution of the bowls, like not mattering so much, do you have any thoughts on players choosing to not play in bowls that aren't the playoffs?
Does it matter what my thoughts are? It don't matter. It doesn't matter. But, you know, as a coach, okay, if you don't want to play, don't play. And just let me know who wants to play, and let's go play. Now, my opinion is I hate it. I don't like that. You know, and it's easy for us. Oh, well, you're the coach, makes all that money, and you're gonna say that bull crap. I mean, listen, my thing is I don't choose to live my life that way. I personally, I choose to play. I mean, otherwise, why even play your whole senior year? I mean, you can get hurt anytime. You can get hurt getting in the car. In fact, you got better odds getting in the car to get hurt than you do playing a football game. So that's my opinion, but that's also a product of